this extremist bigot in Toronto who went to a Jewish restaurant called Cafe Landor and like ordered a drink and then went back and said, this tastes like blood. And like and he brought his kid along with him and he made like just this extremist, weird, bigoted bully. Cafe Landor is not the embassy of Israel. It's not the Israel Defense Forces. It's a restaurant. I've been to several of their locations in Toronto. There's a few around the city. It was started in Berlin like 100 years ago. And the only reason it's being targeted is not an Israeli government thing. There's no Israelis there. It was Landor was the name of the Jew who started it 100 years ago. The one I go to in North Toronto. The staff is fully multicultural, multiracial. I frankly don't know if there's a Jew in the whole place. It's it's like Toronto. It's very pluralistic. But this Jew hater goes in there. Here, I'll let you see for yourself. Take a look.
For humanitarian purpose, they made a mistake and they bought from this company. It's an Israeli company. These guys are supporting Palestine, so we want to return it. They bought it by accident.
I understand. So, okay. What I'll do, I'll just give the drinks to you for free and then I'll refund the money.
Okay, we don't want to drink it. That's like drinking blood.
Oh.
For us, like, so we gotta support Free Palestine, and you know how it is, right?
Yeah.
You know
It's
what's
okay.
going on.
Yeah, and I totally
You know what's
understand.
happening there is genocide?
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
I feel so bad, and nobody deserves that one, especially the kids.
Yeah.
I'll look into it and I'll give a refund.
Okay, I
Just give
appreciate
me
that.
a
Thank you
second.
very much. God bless you. I know you're from Philippines, right?
Yeah.
Filipinos are good people. They always stand for human rights and for justice.
Yeah, I totally understand. I really feel so bad.
Yeah, thank you.
Just give me a second to see the...
Free Palestine.
So she's Filipino. So she's a Filipina lady who's got nothing to do with anything. And he must realize how stupid he looks and sounds. She's not a Jew. But by the way, that restaurant, he put on his little Instagram feed something about Israeli restaurant. It's not Israeli. It's got nothing to do with Israel. It was started in Berlin. The first Nazis drove them out of Berlin. Now, Cafe Landor was revived in North America. Now, the new Nazis, imagine going there, buying something, and then returning it. Oh, I'm going to show them it tastes like blood. And bringing your daughter and teaching her hate. Holy moly, what a weirdo freak. Do you doubt that he would get violent if he thought he could get away with it? And really, they have gotten away with it, haven't they? The pro-Hamas extremists took over Union Station in Toronto a day or two ago. That's the largest subway station. It connects the subway. Toronto doesn't have a large subway, but it has one. It's the Union Station between the different lines and also the Via Rail trains. So it's the biggest train station in Toronto, which I think would make it the biggest train station in the country, shut down by these pro-Hamas supporters. Just a test run for what they can do. And they're seeing what they can get away with more and more and more and more. And by the way, it's working. This is this a video or is it? Yeah, it looks like video. So shutting down. Is that Union Station itself? It's a little bit hard to see because it looks like an underground passage here. Yeah, just shutting it down. Imagine if the truckers had done that. We don't need to imagine. The truckers had their bank accounts seized. They were thrown in prison. Tamara Leach was in prison for 49 days. 200 people had their bank accounts seized. The whole country was put under martial law. They deployed riot horses. If you want a glimpse of what's going to come, and look at the police just standing by doing nothing. My old friend Lyle from Tisdale had a phrase. He was the first person I ever heard say it. It shocked me. And I don't know how offensive it is, but it's just a phrase. Once you hear it, you can't unhear it. He said they're about as useless as tits on a bull. I'm not sure if is that rude to say that? Olivia, is that rude? I think it's a little rude. I think the phrase in veterinary medicine would be teats. So I'll say it that way. As useless as teats on a bull. Yeah, that sounds right. Are they police or are they just people wearing a police uniform? Because they're not doing a lot of policing, are they? I see that the government of Alberta has recently announced they're going to have like a Holocaust component of school education. And that's fine and all. But I don't think that showing the movie Schindler's List is going to undo a deep, deep hatred that we saw, for example, in that guy who went to Cafe Landor and brought his daughter along. Well, they said, "You Jews, your drinks taste like blood." He says this to a Filipino employee. What a gross man that was. So Alberta to consult with Jewish groups on Holocaust education. Listen, I'm not against it at all, but I'm just saying, holy moly, that ain't exactly going to work. Let me show you what one high school in Toronto called Mark Garneau Collegiate Institute. Look at this. Imagine being a student here. Yeah, showing the film Schindler's List there. It's not going to really do anything other than maybe give these kids an idea on how Hitler did things. Take a look at this video. Yehud, by the way, or Judah, means Jew, obviously. Take a listen. Thanks. So Judah, they're not saying Israeli government. They're not saying Israel. They're not saying IDF, Israel Defense Forces. They're saying Jews. That's what Judah is. Hey, Jews, you can't hide. We'll look in the attic for you. We'll come to Cafe Landor and make a fuss. We will throw a Molotov cocktail at a synagogue, not at the Israeli embassy, at a Jewish synagogue. We'll shoot a bullet at a Jewish school in Montreal. Not the Israeli embassy, not an Israeli tank. Jews, you can't hide. That's at the Mark Garneau Collegiate Institute. That is a high school in Toronto. I think it's a high school. Is that what Collegiate Institute means in Toronto? High school? Or is that a junior high? Not sure what it would be called. It's a regular school. It's not even a Muslim school. It's a regular school in Toronto. Imagine being a Jew there. Jews, Judah, you can't hide. Imagine being a Jew there. You can't, there's a mob outside saying you can't hide. Chapters Indigo, which is the bookstore monopoly, the founder happens to be a Jew. I mean, Heather Reisman, born in Canada, not particularly, you couldn't look at her and say there's a Jew. Like some Jewish men wear black hats and have other, have a beard and things like that. No, she is completely assimilated. I suppose the name Reisman sounds Jewish. Look at the story here. Toronto Indigo store splashed with red paint, posters attacking Jewish founders. She's not Israeli. She's not a soldier in the IDF. I think she's pro-Israel. I haven't spoken to her about it. But slather that place with red paint. Scroll down. Are there more photos there? I know there were some photos on social media that were, yeah. Can you click on that one there? Is that the same image? I think Linda Frum, the former senator, tweeted images of it as well. Like just slathering paint all over it. It's not that important, but I just, this was a planned, prepared, I think you were clicking on the word indigo, which is what maybe, anyhow, I think people get that's that one there. Thing, funding genocide, Heather's pick. Funding genocide. I'm happy to use the profits from your purchases to fund the Israeli military and bomb civilians. She never said that, by the way, of course. Heather Reisman, CEO and Chief Occupation Lover. So obviously she never said that. Obviously she is not those things, but she's a Jew. And show this picture because just show, like someone went to some effort to make those posters, to get their red paint, to go down to Chapters Indigo and to slather it on there. And by the way, do you think that they were not noticed? Like, look at the number of posters there. 6 times 3, 18, 20, 30, there are at least 40 posters that we can see in this picture alone. And the red paint, do you think that wasn't seen by anyone? Do you think a cop didn't see that? Do you think a security guard didn't see that? They did, but they didn't do anything. And so what lesson do you think was taught by that? You can get away with it, so now no, ratchet it up. Do something more. Keep, like a child, keep testing to see what the limits are. Oh, hi, everybody. Did you know that every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain Time, we have a live stream where we talk about the news of the day, go over viral videos, hot tweets, hot takes, and we read your comments. In fact, if you make what's called a super chat or a rumble rant of $5 or more, we'll read your comment on the air and respond to it. I've been doing a lot of these live streams lately, but when I'm not here, my friends Sheila Gunn-Reid and David Menzies do it too, and they are way more fun than me. But either way, it is a good show, and it's a way to stay up to date with the news of the day in short, snappy updates. It's not scripted, it's a live stream, and it's fun. You can always watch us on Rumble on YouTube, or just go to rebelnews.com. That's every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern. See you there.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in downtown Toronto, and I got to tell you folks, next March 23rd to 30th to be precise, we are going on a Caribbean cruise. Can you imagine that? And a lot of your favorite Rebels will be there, such as Sheila Gunn-Reid. We got Alexa Lavoie, the big boss man himself, of course, he'll be there, Ezra Levant. And how about this? How about this for the cherry on the sundae? Tamara Leach, Canada's #1 freedom fighter. She'll be on that boat too. And look at the itinerary. We're going to be going to Half Moon Cay in the Bahamas, and then we're going to jazz it up in Ocho Rios, Jamaica, and then there's Georgetown in the Cayman Islands, and finally Cozumel, Mexico. Can you imagine that? If you want more details in terms of getting aboard the ship, go to rebelnewscruise.com. That's rebelnewscruise.com. All the details are there, the departure dates, the costs, and you know what? This is not just a fun-filled getaway. This is a way in which Rebel News raises some revenue. Unlike the mainstream media, we don't receive a nickel of government funding, nor would we take it if ever offered. So it's win-win. Enjoy yourself in the Caribbean and Mexico, and also support your favorite online news channel. So that's rebelnewscruise.com. I hope to see you aboard.